Did you know that only 10% of people enjoy public speaking? Or that the average person fears it more than death? It's shocking but true. Yet, great leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Steve Jobs mastered this skill, and you can too. Welcome to Top 6 Speech Writing Strategies for Aspiring Leaders. In this video, we'll dive into the secrets that make speeches unforgettable. We'll uncover the magic of storytelling, reveal the power of metaphors, and explore advanced rhetorical devices. You'll learn how to command attention with your voice, craft compelling calls to action, and surprise your audience for lasting impact. Imagine holding your audience spellbound, inspiring action, and leaving a lasting impression. Sounds exciting, right? These strategies are your ticket to becoming a great speaker. Stay tuned as we reveal each one, step by step. Get ready to transform your speeches and elevate your leadership skills. Let's dive in. 1. Harnessing the power of storytelling. Craft narratives that captivate. Storytelling is a timeless art that transforms speeches from mundane to magical. Think about Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech. It's packed with powerful stories that paint vivid pictures in our minds. Stories make your message relatable and memorable. They create emotional connections that pure facts and figures can't achieve. So, how do you harness this power? Start by identifying the core message you want to convey. Your story should revolve around this central theme. Personal anecdotes work wonders here. They show your authenticity and vulnerability, making you more relatable. For instance, Barack Obama often shares personal stories to connect with his audience on a deeper level. Next, structure your story with a clear beginning, middle, and end. Introduce your characters and setting, build up the tension, and then provide a resolution. This classic narrative arc keeps your audience engaged. Remember, the conflict and resolution are crucial. They highlight the lesson or insight you're imparting. Don't just tell your story, show it. Use descriptive language to create vivid imagery. Instead of saying, "I was nervous," say, "My palms were sweaty, and my heart raced like a drum." This paints a clearer picture and pulls your audience into your experience. Incorporate sensory details to make your story come alive. Describe what you saw, heard, smelled, tasted, and felt. This multi-sensory approach makes your story more immersive. Research shows that our brains are wired to respond to stories with sensory details. It activates the same areas as if we were experiencing it ourselves. Use dialogue to break the monotony and add realism. Instead of narrating everything, include conversations. It makes your story dynamic and relatable. "I can't do this," I whispered to myself. "Yes, you can," a voice inside me countered. This technique also adds a dramatic flair to your narrative. To make your story impactful, weave in a universal truth or moral. This gives your audience something to ponder and apply in their own lives. It transforms a simple tale into a powerful lesson. As Maya Angelou said, "People will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel." 2. The magic of metaphors. Transform abstract ideas into tangible insights. Metaphors are magic tools in a speaker's toolkit. They transform abstract ideas into tangible insights. Metaphors make complex concepts easier to understand. They create connections between new ideas and familiar experiences. Consider Steve Jobs' famous metaphor, "The computer is a bicycle for our minds." This simple metaphor brilliantly conveys the idea of enhanced human capability. It helps the audience grasp the concept of computers without technical jargon. Start by identifying the core concept you want to simplify. What's the main idea you need your audience to understand? Once you have that, think about everyday objects or experiences that are familiar to everyone. This forms the basis of your metaphor. The key to a powerful metaphor is relatability. Your audience should instantly connect with the comparison. For example, saying, "Time is a thief," is a metaphor everyone can understand. We all feel that time sometimes sneaks away from us. Another great technique is to use metaphors that evoke strong imagery. For instance, "Her voice was a soft blanket on a cold night," paints a vivid picture. It's not just about the comparison but the feelings it invokes. A study from Emory University found that metaphors activate the sensory areas of our brain, making the message more memorable. Metaphors can also be extended to create a theme throughout your speech. This is known as an extended metaphor. Martin Luther King Jr. used this technique brilliantly. In his "I Have a Dream" speech, he talks about cashing a check and living in a land of freedom. This extended metaphor ties his speech together cohesively. Don't be afraid to be creative with your metaphors. Unique metaphors stand out and make your speech memorable. Think of Shakespeare's "All the world's a stage." It's unique and has stood the test of time. Make sure your metaphors align with your audience's experiences and culture. A metaphor that works in one culture might not work in another. For instance, a sports-related metaphor might resonate in the US but fall flat in a country where the sport isn't popular. 3 Rhetorical Devices Masterclass. Elevate your speech with eloquence. Rhetorical devices are the secret sauce that can elevate your speech from good to great. These techniques add elegance and impact to your words. They've been used by some of the greatest speakers in history, like Winston Churchill and John F. Kennedy. Let's start with anaphora. This is the repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of successive clauses. Martin Luther King Jr. used this in his "I Have a Dream" speech with the phrase, "I have a dream." This repetition creates a rhythm and reinforces the main idea. Next is antithesis. This device juxtaposes contrasting ideas in a balanced structure. JFK's "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country" is a classic example. It highlights the contrast and makes the message more striking. Chiasmus is another powerful tool. It involves reversing the structure of 2 successive clauses. Think of "Never let a fool kiss you" or "A kiss fool you." This clever flip makes the statement memorable. Let's not forget about parallelism. This involves using similar structures in related words, phrases, or clauses. Churchill's "We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds" is a perfect example. It creates a rhythm and reinforces the determination in his message. Metonymy and synecdoche are 2 more devices that can add depth to your speech. Metonymy involves using a related term to stand in for an object or concept, like "the White House announced" instead of "the President announced." Synecdoche involves using a part to represent the whole, like "all hands on deck." These devices add a layer of sophistication to your language. Hyperbole is another device to consider. It's the use of exaggeration for emphasis or effect. Mark Twain famously said, "The reports of my death are greatly exaggerated." It grabs attention and adds humor. Remember, these devices should enhance your speech, not overwhelm it. Use them sparingly and where they fit naturally. Overusing rhetorical devices can make your speech sound forced and insincere. 4 Voice modulation mastery. Command attention with vocal dynamics. Voice modulation is a game changer for any speaker. It's the art of varying your pitch, pace, and volume to keep your audience engaged. A monotone voice can make even the most interesting speech sound dull. Let's start with pitch. Varying your pitch can convey different emotions and emphasize key points. A higher pitch can express excitement or urgency, while a lower pitch can convey seriousness or calm. Think of how Morgan Freeman's deep voice commands attention and adds gravitas. Next, consider your pace. Speaking too fast can make it hard for your audience to follow, while speaking too slowly can lose their interest. Aim for a balanced pace, and vary it to match the content. Slow down for important points to give your audience time to absorb the information. Speed up during less critical parts to maintain momentum. Volume is another crucial aspect. Use a louder volume to highlight key points and a softer volume to draw your audience in. A sudden change in volume can grab attention and add emphasis. Think of how a whisper can make your audience lean in and listen more intently. Pausing is a powerful tool often overlooked. Strategic pauses can give your audience time to think about what you've said. They can also build anticipation for what comes next. A well-timed pause after a key point can make your message more impactful. Exercises can help you improve your voice modulation. Practice reading out loud with different pitches, paces, and volumes. Record yourself and listen to the playback. This can help you identify areas for improvement. Breathing exercises can also enhance your vocal control. Deep, diaphragmatic breathing supports a strong and steady voice. It also helps manage nerves, which can affect your vocal performance. Remember, your voice is an instrument. Like any instrument, it needs regular tuning and practice. Warm up your voice before speaking with simple exercises like humming or lip trills. This can prevent strain and improve your vocal quality. Feedback is essential for improvement. Ask for constructive criticism from friends, family, or colleagues. They can provide insights you might not notice yourself. 5. Crafting a call to action. Inspire and mobilize your audience. A compelling call to action, CTA, is the heartbeat of any effective speech. It's the moment you rally your audience to take action. A well-crafted CTA can inspire and mobilize people, making your message not just heard, but acted upon. Start by being clear and specific about what you want your audience to do. Vague requests like, "make a difference," aren't as powerful as specific actions like, "volunteer at your local shelter." People are more likely to act when they know exactly what's expected of them. Emotional appeal is crucial in a CTA. Tap into your audience's emotions by highlighting the impact their actions can have. Use stories or examples to illustrate this. For instance, if you're advocating for environmental conservation, share a story about a particular forest or animal species at risk. This personalizes the issue and makes it more relatable. Incorporate a sense of urgency. Phrases like, "Now is the time," or "We can't wait any longer," motivate immediate action. Urgency can spur people into action rather than putting it off for later. Research shows that people are more likely to act when they perceive a sense of urgency. Using powerful and commanding language is also effective. Words like join, fight, support, and commit are strong and direct. They leave little room for ambiguity and prompt decisive action. A study from Harvard Business Review found that direct language in CTAs increases engagement and response rates. Your CTA should align with the values and beliefs of your audience. Understand what matters to them and tailor your message accordingly. If you're speaking to a group of educators, emphasize how their actions can shape future generations. Visualization is another powerful technique. Help your audience picture the positive outcomes of their actions. John F. Kennedy did this brilliantly in his Moon speech, asking Americans to imagine the achievements of landing on the moon. This visionary approach can make your CTA more compelling. Reinforce your CTA throughout your speech. Mention it at the beginning, weave it into the body, and emphasize it at the end. Repetition helps to embed the action in your audience's mind. Incorporate testimonials or endorsements to strengthen your CTA. When people hear about others who have already taken action, they are more likely to follow suit. This technique leverages social proof, a powerful motivator in human behavior. 6. The unexpected element. Surprise your audience for lasting impact. Surprise is a powerful tool in speechwriting. It can captivate your audience and make your message memorable. Unexpected elements grab attention and keep listeners engaged. Start by incorporating unexpected facts or statistics. For instance, did you know that the average person spends 6 months of their life waiting for red lights to turn green? This kind of surprising data can hook your audience and make them pay attention. Use humor to surprise and delight your audience. A well-timed joke or funny anecdote can lighten the mood and make your speech more enjoyable. However, ensure your humor is appropriate and relevant to your topic. Mark Twain said, "The secret source of humor is not joy but sorrow. There is no humor in heaven." Storytelling is another great way to incorporate surprise. Introduce a twist or unexpected turn in your story. This keeps your audience on their toes and adds an element of intrigue. Think of a time when you faced an unexpected challenge or had a surprising breakthrough. Visual aids can also add an element of surprise. Use props, slides, or videos that your audience doesn't expect. For example, if you're talking about innovation, show a quirky invention that surprises and amuses your audience. Interactive elements can create a surprising and engaging experience. Ask your audience a question or invite someone on stage. This breaks the fourth wall and makes your speech more dynamic. A live demonstration or unexpected guest can also add a surprising twist. Quoting unexpected sources can add depth and surprise to your speech. For instance, quoting a famous artist or scientist in a business speech can provide a fresh perspective. Albert Einstein once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." This kind of quote can catch your audience off guard and make them think. Analogies and metaphors can introduce surprise by linking unrelated concepts. For example, comparing teamwork to a jazz band can provide a novel way of looking at collaboration. This creative approach can make your ideas more memorable. Sudden changes in your speaking style can also surprise your audience. Shift your tone, pace, or volume unexpectedly to emphasize a point. A sudden whisper or a loud exclamation can jolt your audience's attention back to you.